iGrow 100 series controller gives you the option to add additional expansion boards for additional outputs control. As you can see from the controller, you have a RS-232 to an RS-485 converter PCB that is attached to the RS-232 port. That PCB is powered by the 12-volt power supply that's powering the controller, and then 2 wire communication lines going to the expansion board. Now, as you can see on the right side here, these are the communication and power terminal blocks for the expansion, and on the left side are your relay outputs. This expansion board is powered by a 24-volt power supply, and on the top side are your manual override toggle switches. The beeping light signifies successful communication. Right to the right of it are your dip switches for a single board. They would all be on the off position. To the left of the dip switches is your reset switch. Now with this application, this is a simple daisy chain of power going from the input power location to the relay outputs, doing a wet wiring application. Now for this test, we're going to simply come over here and flip this number 1 toggle to the on position, and as you can see, the plunger of the solenoid engaged, signifying on. Turning it to the off position, the plunger of the solenoid closes. Now that we have tested the solenoid from the manual toggle switches, let's go ahead and test the solenoid from the programming screens of the controller. Now from the front of the controller, we first have to add the expansion board. If I was to hit home, you can see that there's no additional expansion channels populating. Let's go ahead and hit OK, system setup, and go to expansion setup, and just simply configure expansion. And what we want to do is add a board, and we want to add a 4 output board. Hit OK, and now we have a 4 output board. If you were to hit home and save, now by hitting home again, you can now see your expansion channels on 1 through 4. 1x, 2x, 3x, 4x. Now, we have this solenoid attached to the expansion board. We're going to simply flip the toggles to the auto position. And right now, the output is in fact on, and the solenoid is engaged. If we were to go ahead and put the output to force off, it turned the solenoid off. Try and force on again. And the solenoid engages. Now that you have established functionality from this perspective, you can now program this single output to respond to temperature, humidity, time. And that's our brief overview on the expansion board for the iGrow 100 series controller.